Colin Kaepernick has perhaps probably helpfully blurred the line between sports and politics, right? Mm-hmm. And I guess the question is, do we still want there to be some line? Like during the Olympics, right? I don't know how many of you watched Olympic judo, but there was this match between an Israeli guy and an Egyptian guy, and the Israeli guy destroyed the Egyptian guy, beat him like 27-0,
shake his hand.
and refused to really fully bow or shake his hand, which is quite shocking in kind of the fraternity of the sport. That might have just been sportsmanship, it might have been cultural, it might have been political, and so one wonders, like these.
Pretty certainly political.
Well, we think so, right? But so we have these like.
And I thought poor sportsmanship, by the way. I think that you want to like make your protest, figure out another way to do it.
Yeah.
But if you're going to get in a ring with a dude or a woman,
You're equal to
I'm
it.
sorry. Yeah, then you've committed to like treating that person as somebody worthy of respect. Basic respect.
Do you think that
Not the
rule will
greater
apply to? So in the NFL, we have defensive players who have said they don't like Colin's protest. They're going to have an opportunity to drive him into the turf at some point. Are we going to wonder if the late hit has a little extra stank on it because of a political beef? Like, should there be some place where politics stops? Used to be at the water's edge, supposedly. Should it stop at the edge of the turf or not?
How is that? I mean, I would wonder, how is that possible? I mean, this is not just a kids game. The money that is coming from all these different places, left and right, political and other places, it's impossible, especially when you voluntarily introduce these things into the game. Again, it's not just a kids sport. These guys go out there, they make these millions of dollars, and it's not just because it's like these fans are coming to the game. There's a lot more involved in just that. And so, I mean, if someone comes after Colin Kaepernick, who has been very openly opposed to what he's been doing, you're proving his point. He is taking a stand. It is not meant to offend anybody. It's just like if you're reading too far into it, that's one of the biggest things that has happened so far. Is that people are missing the message. You're so offended by what he is doing. You make it about the military. You make it about the troops. You make it about the flag. The flag is a garment. Truth be told, the flag is a garment, as is that song. The song does not need to be played. The song is played, but it does not need to be played. But the message that he is trying to send is that there is a problem in this country, and his critics have been extremely quiet the last week. Did we forget that 2 days in a row we had 2 black men killed? We had 2 black men killed back-to-back days in July, too, for that matter. It's just like there are real-life issues, real-life consequences that are happening to people in our society, and you all care more about the fact that a man is doing a silent protest than the fact that there are people out there that are losing their lives. That is a problem. That is a huge problem. And again, if you decide to have an issue with what he is saying through mediums of violence, obviously the sport allows for that, but if you're putting a little bit of extra stank on your hits on him to prove some greater point, you're still proving his point. You're not doing anything against his point. Like, I hate to break it to you, but congratulations, you played yourself. And it's just like, and you may just cost your team 15 extra yards at that, for that matter. And it's just, it shouldn't come down to, you should be able to be a reasoned adult to listen to both sides of the argument and say to yourself, okay, what is Colin saying? Why is he doing this protest? It's not just for him, it's for people that don't have the voice. And that's the thing, is that we ask our athletes to be these role models. We ask them to use their platform for good, to bring about change and all these different things like that. Okay, so now one is doing what?
Donald Sterling lost a basketball team because he said some odious things that most people in the country hopefully disagree with. An athlete could say something equally unpopular that we do or don't agree with, and ownership could say, this tarnishes the product we're putting out there. You're no longer on my team. Would that be right?
Well, we had that with Steve Clevenger, as we just saw that in regards to him being the stupidest backup catcher in history and making himself get fired. And you want to have. I'm a free speech advocate, but there's consequences to certain free speech, and that's going to happen, and especially if it's hate speech. But it's just important where we have an ability to compartmentalize things, and we clearly haven't seen that in regards to how people have taken this whole military angle from what he said. And it's something overall where, again, I think that it's important that everyone has the right to say what they want to say, but that there's consequences to what certain people say, especially if it's abhorrent and pretty terrible in regards to society, in contrast to a quarterback who is a backup quarterback at the moment, who didn't need to do this or whatnot, who wasn't even publicly doing this, who is saying to himself, please do not shoot black people in regards to just our rights overall, and that we can have restrained, control, best policing, who's urging that. And yet some people somehow disseminate from that message, oh, he is talking against the military or whatnot. We really have to compartmentalize and slow down things and really try to see these perspectives overall instead of trying to label our own emotional perspectives in regards to this.
Like, because I've seen about this with Clevenger. Right. I completely disagree with what he said. But should he have been suspended?
No.
What, should he have been suspended? I mean, in other words, like, good. I mean, there's a part of me that thinks, like, good, surface the issue. Let's, like, as you say, I mean, you go, and I think you're absolutely right, you go into, like, a baseball, you know, locker room, and not by any means all, but many of the players, right, the white players in particular, you know, quite conservative politics, right? Like, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're racist politics, but quite conservative politics.
Yeah.
Surface it, right? And should, I mean, I don't know, you know, and look, because of the nature of what Clevenger said, I mean, he said, you know, I believe, you know, those animals should be locked up, right?
Yeah.
But if he had said, let's just say he had spoken vaguely more wisely, and said, those demonstrators, what they're doing is abhorrent and they should be locked up.
There's nothing wrong with that. You have free speech. Even if someone disagrees with what they're saying, it's just like, you didn't, I mean, you spoke your opinion. Like Colin Kaepernick is speaking, a lot of what he's saying is backed up by fact. What Clevenger is saying based on opinion, and that's another thing that you have to make a huge distinction on. It's just like, if you feel like they're being loud or obnoxious, it's like, actually that could be a fact too, because it's like they are demonstrations. A lot of demonstrations can be quite loud and it can be quite obnoxious. It's like that, it can be a fact for a lot of people.